What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have my budget, another budget Sunday video. Today's budget is going to be a little different because I didn't really spend a lot of money. I spent like 20 bucks at the grocery store. So I haven't done grocery shopping yet. So because I haven't spent any money, we're just going to do things a little differently. So if you're going into 2022 wanting to get your budget on order, wanting to get things on order as most people do, truly the first thing you really need to do is set up sinking funds as well as to start saving. I cannot stress this enough. Saving should be your number one priority, to have money in the bank so that you don't have to worry and stress out if something were to happen in case of an emergency or just because. Sinking funds really came through for me this year, as well as my savings account. So it really put it in perspective to me how important it was. I've heard it a million times, but never really did it before last year, both before the year before in 2020. And in 2021, I was really grateful to have all of that. So I could still fund the things that I want to spend money on. So I'm going to go over kind of saving challenges that I'm doing and ways that you can set up your saving challenge if you're just not sure where to start. So I'll start with sinking funds. I believe everyone should have a gift sinking fund. You know you will spend gifts. You know you will buy Christmas presents. You will buy birthday presents. Like, that is inevitable. Now is a great time to really think of the whole year and things that you know you're going to spend. So if you know you're going to spend money on Black Friday, start putting money aside already, as well as I've spent money on advent calendars. I know that will happen. So I have a sinking fund for that. If you have a car, and you know that you're going to need, let's say you know your car needs an update of some form in the near future, start putting money away in a sinking fund for that. So just whatever money that you know you're going to spend and you know will be coming up in the next year, make sure you have a sinking fund for it so that you put a little bit of money away all the time. Now, what I typically do with not all of my, but most of my sinking fund, is that when I get my tax money back, I will use a lot of that money. I will put it into my savings account that is specifically for my sinking fund. So that will fund most of my sinking fund. That's usually what I use my tax refund for. Then this year I have a plan, a goal to save $5,000 in a year. It is a lot of money to save, but I really want to make sure that I am saving more and spending less this year. So I got this challenge off of Pinterest. And the way that it's supposed to work is that you're supposed to do like 25, 45, 65, 75, 95, 110, 125, 130, 145, 155, and then do it all over again. It is a 52-week challenge, so you do one amount every week. The way I set it up like this, only because I might not always go in order, so I'm just kind of going to go with what I have. So let's say I have a paycheck come in and I don't need to pay bills. I might put 155 that week, and then the next week maybe I'm not having any money come in, so then I'll put 25. So like I might just do it based on how much money I have, as opposed to going in exact order, which is why I just kind of set it up like this in my budget planner. There are trackers that you can make, as well as that you can purchase on Etsy. There's many different savings trackers that you can do. But let's say you have an amount for your sinking fund. First of all, how do you get that amount? How did I get my amount? I kind of estimated of how much I spent based on my budget and my budget tracking for the last year. This is a lot, but I probably won't spend that much. So whatever is remaining will go into my gift sinking fund, and so I just kind of balanced it out overall. My goal is to not really spend money this year, or not spend a lot of money this year, and to really focus on saving as much money as possible, which is why I kind of upped the amounts more than I would normally do. So let's figure out if I was not planning on using my tax refund, let's say this is a sinking fund that I'm going to save every single week, how will I do that? So I obviously have a lot of sinking funds, but again, that's because, and they are large amounts, but that's because I know where most of that money will come from. It won't be coming out of a regular paycheck, or a lot of it won't be. So let's say you want to save $1,000. My $1,000 is my advent calendars. I start buying my advent calendars obviously earlier in the year. So let's say I want to save $1,000 in about 8 months. I broke it down, and it's about $125 a month. So if you get paid twice, you would be able to do 60 and then 65 for each paycheck. If you get paid every other week, then you could save it like that. Now let's say you want to save $1,500 in 12 weeks. So $1,500 in 12 months, sorry. $1,500 is my gift sinking fund. Now, for a gift sinking fund, I will say you have to factor in that you will be spending money as well throughout the year. Obviously, you will be taking money out. So when you take money out, so let's say I buy a gift that I find on clearance, which is what you should do. The point of having the sinking fund is to have the money there when you need it. For gifts, really, you should be shopping all year. When you see clearance, when you see sales, that's your time to use your gift sinking fund and get a good deal, because you have the money there and you're getting a good sale. You don't want to wait until Christmas and then have to spend a lot more money to get the gifts that you want. So you want to make sure that you're also deducting the amount that you take out. So if I take out $50, you want to, let's say I spend $50 on whatever at some point in the year, you want to deduct that so that you know how much you've actually spent. So this was, I believe, last year. Yeah, I believe this was last year. When I put the money into the sinking fund, and then I started deducting it. So I had 2,000, and then I minus 200, minus 100. So I would keep track when I spent money, so I knew how much was left in my sinking fund. So you definitely want to make sure that you're doing that. So let's say you want to spend $1,500 in 12 months. So it'd be about approximately still $125 a month. So you could do it bi-weekly. So you could do it if you wanted to do it weekly. If you want to do it weekly, you do 30, 35, 40, and 30. Again, you want to factor in when you get paid into what is realistic to your actual budget. And then $2,000 for, let's say, Black Friday. So it would be $200 a month, so $100 each paycheck. You want to, when you figure out your amounts, you want to factor in when you will be spending that money. And that's how you figure it out. So you take your 2,000 divided by 10, and that will give you how much is your goal to put in there every month in order to get that amount by your due date. Again, as you spend money, you have to make sure you deduct it, keep track of everything. When you're figuring out the amounts that you want, just think about when your paychecks come in, when your bills come out, when you will actually do it. When people tell you $125 a month, you might be thinking, where the heck would I find that money? That's a lot of money. I'm on a tight budget. Totally understand that. So you want to break it down to when you will actually put the money in. If you know that all of your bills come out at the beginning of the month, you want to think about that, and maybe you only do $50 at the beginning of the month, and then you do $150 at the end of the month when you have more money. So do it something that is realistic to you, not what someone tells you that you have to do when you're figuring out your amounts. It has to be a system that you will actually follow. Otherwise, it doesn't even matter. Yes, it might seem like a lot, but when you think about an area that you know you spend a lot in. So let's say you eat out a lot. If you cannot eat out once per week when you normally would, you can take that money that you would normally spend and put it into your sinking fund. So you can think of it like that. So let's say you normally spend $30 every day, which is a lot. That's a little crazy. But let's say you spend $30 every day eating out, or $30, two or three times a week eating out. If you just minus one time eating out every single week, you'll be able to hit your amount, because if you do that twice, that gives you the $60. And again, you just have to do it once per week. What you really have to focus on and do is that you make sure that when you don't spend that money, you put it into a separate account. Don't leave it in there, because then you'll just spend it on something else. So as soon as let's say if you get a coffee every day, maybe you don't get a coffee every day. Maybe you get one every other day. Take that money and put it aside. A lot of people will if you use actual cash, a great way to do it is to get a piggy bank, or even just get a jar. You can get a jar from the dollar store, very inexpensive, or a jar that you had leftover food in or something. You can clean it out and then put it in that so that you won't spend it. I don't use cash, so I personally would take that money and just put it into a separate account, put it into your savings account that you can see, but you don't really access. And that would be a great way to ensure that you are building up that sinking fund. I will also say that really sinking funds for me were really a great way to motivate me to even save anything. I'm not typically a saver. I'm a natural buyer. I buy, I don't really save. So having a sinking fund and seeing that amount go up really motivated me to want to see how much more I can save. And that for me made the world of a difference. I hope this video has helped. If you are doing a savings challenge, please let us know in the comments below what it is so that we can all follow along, and maybe yours is better than mine. The one that I am really trying to do is the 5,000 in 1 year. It is, I would really want to see if I'm going to be able to do it. It's just not something I've ever been able to do, just because, again, I'm a spender. I am not a saver. So this is really my personal challenge that I want to see if I can hit it. Let us know what your challenge is that you're doing. No matter what it is, make sure you find a savings challenge. It's just a fun way to be able to save money, especially if you are not typically a saver. It will really motivate you to want to do it. Thank you very much for watching. Definitely like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you in the next one.